Be joined now at this time by Sandi Simpson from Norton Insurance. Sandi, how are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, a little bit before we get into one of the questions I want to talk about today, Norton Insurance. We hear so many insurance companies. Who is Norton Insurance? Tell us a little bit of background on them.
Norton Insurance is a family-owned and operated independent insurance agency. We've been in operation since 1928, representing the North Georgia area, serving the North Georgia area since 1928. It's a third-generation family-owned and operated independent agency. We have a large buying power. We write over $110 million in premium volume per year, so that gives us a lot of power with our companies that we represent. We can serve you, our client, with representation of about 250 different insurance carriers to suit your insurance needs and specifically design a policy specific to your needs with your industry and your business in mind.
What areas? All areas? Commercial? Everything?
Commercial, residential, homeowners, personal auto, any type of small business. We also do employee benefits, life, health. We cover anything that pretty much can be insured.
Well, let me get to the big question we had this morning that we wanted to talk about. We put on Facebook. We wanted to talk about that. We're in North Georgia, and if you're out there in Texas, because I do get some messages from Texas and other areas of the country, but up in this area, festivals, it seems like festivals, nonprofit events, whether it's wedding venues, all the above, but there's a whole lot of downtown events, nonprofits, festivals, on and on. Do they need insurance when they put these festivals on, no matter how big or large?
Of course they do, Brian. We have multiple carriers that have specific policies designed for special events. Those include wedding or family social events, family reunions even can be included in something like that. The festivals here in Blue Ridge, we have Trout Fest, we have Fire and Ice, we have multiple festivals in our downtown community to draw tourists to our area, and those events all need a form of insurance. Special events coverage is designed just to be a short-term liability policy for that type of event for a specific time frame at a specific location. So if you're having an event, now a lot of times we carry insurance, different organizations, but we sometimes may not realize that that particular insurance doesn't have the special event, doesn't know you're going to have a crowd of people, That's
special
true.
event. So that's why you really need to, if you're doing anything that you're inviting people just to walk into as a festival, nonprofit, to raise money, you should get the insurance.
That is true, because a lot of times you're just traditional general liability policy for the routine ongoing operations of your business is not accounting for something like a special event, which is a higher profile, higher exposure, a lot more people involved, a lot more exposures involved, and so that policy may not be accounting for that in your regular routine policy. So sometimes you do have to branch out and buy a special events policy. You can also buy a special events policy if you don't have ongoing operations that require, maybe you don't feel like you need the insurance, but you just need a short-term policy for a specific event.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're a nonprofit organization out there or an association of any type, and you have an annual insurance policy, you're a nonprofit, and I'm sitting down with you and I say, I want to do my insurance for the year, is it better up front to let your carrier know that there's certain events that are scheduled every year and go ahead and have that within your policy when you do it overall?
Yes, it can be done that way. And I would always recommend to my client, if I have a client that I know is specifically maybe a nonprofit, like you mentioned, Brian, that has certain fundraising events throughout the year, oftentimes we can schedule those in the policy and account for that in the master policy and have that already included.
One more.
Okay.
See if I don't think I'm going to be able to stump you on this, but a little one. Let's say at your home, do all homeowner policies cover all guests, or is it important, like if you're going to have a special event even at your house of a large number of people? Should you I mean, I don't want to get down a road, but I mean, I'm trying to say, how should you be concerned or let your insurance carrier know that?
Yes, you should always have that conversation with your agent just to be sure that you have coverage in place, because your homeowner's policy is not necessarily designed to accommodate a large special event, especially if you're co-hosting an event with a business organization or some other nonprofit and you're opening your home to that exposure. You should always have that conversation with your agent.
I think what it comes down to sometimes, and you can tell us this, is sometimes it comes down to we may feel somebody else is responsible for the insurance, or we're covered under it. Is that a mistake that happens all too often?
That is.
Is that we fall under your policy because this is a public place, so you're covering us? Is that a miss?
I think it is in a lot of cases that people make assumptions. And you know, the insurance policy is designed to provide coverage for the named insured on that policy. So that's something that you should always address, and you could ask to be an additional insured on a policy. But there's always things that need to be addressed and reviewed given the circumstances. And many times these events, be it in your home, in the city park, or wherever, there's a lot of different moving parts to it. So it's a case-by-case basis that you should always have a conversation with your agent.
So you brought this up. I keep going around it because there's so many different things. As you know, living up here, you can go on all the chamber websites of every county in North Georgia and from Dawson and everywhere, and their event calendar has something this weekend.
Exactly.
All right, 4 or 5 things. We have a wine tasting event down in Gilmer today, and Blue Ridge. We have always something going on in Fannin County, Union County, whatever. Events that take place in city parks and things like that, and in areas that is the city's property. If you rent the city park or pavilion, but you still have a private event as a business or something like that, you probably should check if your insurance covers that.
Of course, and in most cases, the city is going to require a certificate of insurance or proof of insurance from you prior to you contracting with them to lease their facility. So in a lot of cases, you're required to have the coverage, but even if you're not required the coverage, you should have that coverage, because one of the features of the special events policy is that it can cover damage to your rented premises if you cause damage to that premises while you're leasing that premises for your event.
Anything else there that I've left off on events or anything like that?
The one other thing that I would touch base on events is your liquor liability coverage is extremely important.
Oh.
So you can have some host liquor liability provided, and that is if you're not in the business of selling alcohol. Maybe you're just providing complimentary beverages. But then again, if you're selling beer or wine at your event, you definitely need to address the liquor liability coverage. So that's another thing that's very, very important in most of our events.
You know, I can't believe I went all those questions and went all the way around and left that, because so many events do involve alcohol, and you need to make sure that you have everything covered where that's concerned. Okay, how can we get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with you? Now, are you in this? You are in this area?
I am in this area. I work most of North Georgia. My office is physically located in Dahlonega, but I work in Blue Ridge. I'm here several days a week. My family has owned property and businesses here for 20 years, and I consider this home, even though I didn't technically grow up here. It's home to me, and I'm here multiple days a week. But the best way to get in touch with me is on my cell phone, which is 770-540-4019, or by email, ssimpson@nortoninsurance.com.
We thank you very much, Sandy.
Thank you.
Sandi Simpson, Norton Insurance. And look, if you're having an event and we did not get to one of your questions, we will have this segment on fetchernews.com under our business segments, business category. Today, you can find that, and you will be able to get in touch with Sandy direct. The information will be up there where you can get in touch with her direct and ask maybe your questions directly to her about upcoming events you may be having and need insurance. Okay, well, good with that?
Yes.
Okay, I check with every guest.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? I'm on a roll this morning. I had a judge this morning. I got to tell the judge now it's time for him to go to work. I got to tell the doctor now it's time for you to go to work. I'm going to tell you it's time for you to go to work.
Excellent. Thank
Got
you,
it?
Brian.
Okay, right after these commercials, the All-Star panel might be talking a little politics, so you stay tuned. Should James Comey, the FBI director, be fired? I don't know. We'll ask them right after these messages.
Hello,